Howdy YouTube. Hi Diego. How's my little buddy doing today? Come on, let's go cook something up with Grandpa. Let's show you the food. My tribute to Hallsy. Now what's going on? The weekend before Memorial Day 2012, we are having a YouTube Roundup and Barbecue Brethren Throwdown at Columbus Park in Olympia, Washington. Hallsy and I were talking about doing this. He didn't get a chance to make it. I think we all need to get together and have a meetup and let's do this. Barbecue Throwdown, YouTube Roundup. Hi Diego. Howdy YouTube. This here is a tribute video to Hallsy. Hallsy's Kitchen. He was a very good friend of mine. He died a few weeks ago. It's taken this long for me to be able to do a tribute video. My tribute video is going to be showing people how to use your Kettle BBQ low and slow. Now Hallsy couldn't barbecue at his place. He actually rented a loft in a horse ranch. So he was actually living in this giant horse ranch stadium kind of place, and he didn't want to burn the place down, obviously. There's too much hay all over the place, so he couldn't barbecue with coals. So this is kind of an appropriate video for it. First thing you want to do is you rake all your old coals to one side. Then once you get everything in position, you come down and you dump your ash from the previous cook. Your ash bucket, avoiding the nuts the squirrels throw at you. This is a fireplace insert brick. This will help you keep your charcoal compacted together so it cooks at a lower temperature. It's called, what I like to call, chasing the tail, or chasing the tail of the dog. I just like to call it chasing the tail. I'm going to put my hot coals here. They will burn and start these coals burning. This will take 3 hours to cook. I will have my ribs over here. This brick will help, and actually I'm going to set a second one in this way because I am doing ribs and I want to keep the heat away from the ribs. Once I get it going, I will close the bottom vent most of the way. I will show you this now. Alright, there's our coals, there's our fireplace insert bricks, and then there's the hole in the bottom of the the Weber. And you can close and open these vents. And once you get your hot coals in here, this is going to create a 300 to 500 cooking temperature with the lid closed. You simply close off your air capacity so it's barely open. You leave your top vent all the way open so the smoke will get out and it won't sit on the food creating soot. Can you see that? Did you see that? Just a little crack there. Anyways, chasing the dog is very simply put. You start your coals here and they will just start burning the rest of them. Because we're having so little air, I'm going to have to watch it to make sure these coals over here do actually keep burning. So after an hour I'll come back and check and see if I need to open the air vent up more. So by adding just two simple insert bricks, you can control your heat. My biggest problem was this thing it's too hot. It's a hot monger. I can get 800 degrees off of this, no problem. Which is how you should be cooking your ribeyes, I found out. That is a great temperature to be burning your ribeyes on. Alright, another thing I will do if I'm not cooking low and slow, is I will take these charcoals, I'll just pick the grate up, and I'll dump them in my charcoal chimney. I'll put a little layer of fresh charcoals at the bottom, and then dump the rest on top, heat them up, toss them back down, and it's great for getting your coals really hot really quick and for cooking steak that way. So that's my tips on doing low and slow. Now we're going to go into starting your charcoal chimney. Alright, Jason was a great loyal friend, and he always commented on my videos. We talked about trolls, jerks, stuff like that. And I really appreciated his kind heart. He was a big man. Now what I've done here is I've put newspaper on top of that grate. I've found these charcoal chimneys are just too big for your average kettle grill, for the most part. So I can save a bit of charcoal by just filling up that ring around the outside and then putting charcoal on top. You cut down about 20 to 30% of what you do is make 3 tight little balls in here, under here, and set them down and light it, and that pretty much is going to get your fire going, period. That's all it takes. Somebody did suggest that you can use Pam spray on a sheet of paper, and that does help get your fire going more if you want to waste cooking oil. You can also save your bacon grease and soak your paper in that. All sorts of ways you can do that stuff, but that's how I do it. Miss you a lot, Hallsy. You were a great friend. Thank you for watching. See you later, YouTube. Bye, Diego. Now for this, I don't want any big pieces in here. Sometimes you get some big pieces. That wasn't a really big one. Those are large. These are really big, and I save them. I get one every 3 bags or so. And these are going to be great for brisket when I need a very long, low and slow. So you get an odd one every 3 bags. You get a rock every 4 bags. No Cracker Jack prizes though. So I'm now going to just adjust these coals here a little bit so they're a little more tighter of a tighter fitting, and then I'm going to put some paper on the bottom and light it. Yeah, I remember one time one guy was giving Hallsy a bad time being negative, and I guess he started attacking people Hallsy was friends with, because I got a message from Hallsy saying, you know, sorry if this guy's messing with you. He wasn't. I was in the vortex out of his reach, but you know, I understand. I've had a few unsavory comments. I just blocked the people. You know, I'm not getting paid to do this. Why would I care what your comment is? If you're going to be negative and criticizing, why would any of us on YouTube care? I hope you feel better for yourself. Maybe you're a big person because you can comment on somebody's hard work, putting them down, trying to make them feel bad, but it ain't going to work. Because we know you're the small person, not us. That's Hallsy's attitude, and I really appreciate him sharing that with me. It really helped. Alright, this paper has been sitting out on the back porch. It actually feels a little bit damp. See, it's discolored in places. So I got my 3 balls, a little bigger than I normally make. As long as you have air passage, you're okay though. So I'm just going to light it on this side here. I've never used this lighter before, so push me up. Alright. And that's it. In 20 minutes, those charcoals will be ready to put on the barbecue. Now I'm going to slide it over here more because I don't want the charcoals falling out of the bottom and lighting my other charcoals that I already got in there. And I only light it on one side so it takes longer to burn the paper. Not much longer, but it does help a little bit. And if you happen to have a wind like that, you could turn the handle to face the wind. It'll kind of help dampen the effects, but then, you know, the wind changes. Anyways, I'm going to go sit in the house for 15 minutes and try to relax. Hallsy, you were a great inspiration. You were the first person who showed me stuffed tomatoes. It was so good. I made a video that night I made them. You were inspirational. You were loyal. You were a kind, compassionate human being. And your loss will attract many more from our desires of missing you. Many more kind, compassionate human beings will be created in this world. Oh yeah, and sometimes the paper creates a hole there. I just shake it like that so it falls down, and it just burns better that way, I think. Maybe I just have obsessive compulsive play with fire disorder. That's why I like to barbecue. Oh yeah, and you could technically right now dump these in there and it would burn, but the flavor that comes off of a black coal like that, even though it's not briquettes, is not what I desire in my barbecue. So I'm going to let this, there'll be flames going around it before I dump it in there. Now once you have a hot fire, you can dump it on top of raw coals like that, and the heat will burn the gas that comes off the coals, and it will eliminate, almost completely eliminate the bad odor. Just another tip. Put your raw coals down and a really hot fire on top. That's how you do low and slow long. Alright, I just want to talk a little bit about loyalty. As some of you, see, it's been about 5 minutes already. Some of you may have noticed Hallsy has a Knox Spice card in most of his recent videos. What that was all about is I sent him a Knox Spice Jamaican jerk. I tossed in one of those cards. He was so appreciative of somebody sending him a spice so he could try it out that he put that card in every one of his videos from that point on. I was going to send him a full kit. We were going to meet at the YouTube Roundup I'm organizing next year. Just wish I would have had a chance to shake his hand. Miss you, bro. Alright. As you can see, there is flame coming out, but it's ashed over. That's gasification happening there. So we've got a hot fire. It's ready to dump on and be smothered. Because we want to cook at 280 degrees, right? So in order to do that, we're going to have to cool the fire back down almost immediately. Oh, where's my gloves? Behind the camera. And then as soon as it's satisfied. Alright, I'm going to put the ribs over here, so that side is getting heated up, sterilized, and will be scrubbed. And then we'll put the rib on it. After we spin it around, away from the heat. And it looks like I would really like to have more charcoal than I have in there, in hindsight, but I'll nurse it at the other end of the cook. To start off with, the lid's going to be all the way open. But I'm going to put it securely on top of the kettle. A trick to having your lid on and keeping a hot fire is to just slide the kettle over a little bit so there's air coming in under the lid. And this allows you to maintain a hotter fire, this little gap of air, while this kettle still provides an insulative heat factor. Another tip for using your Weber. I guess I have the gold kind. I got it off of Craigslist. George, my friend on Facebook, found it for me. 30 bucks. But this is the important part. You want this kind of a piece on the bottom of your Weber. It really improves the performance. And it's worth whatever extra money you have to pay to get that. So I'm going to go in and preparing my ribs. And of course, as this is a Hallsy tribute, I'll be using Knox Spice. Dang straight. Let this go a little too long, that's okay. I shut the bottom coals off, or the bottom vents off completely. We're about 400 degrees inside. We want to cool that down. To continue with the inspiration of the tribute video, I've cut my ribs in two sections. I have these that I saw, I believe her name is, I hope I get the first name right, Karen Artis. She's a really cool English cook on YouTube, and she's doing a lot of stuff with her show off of YouTube, out in the public cooking stuff. And I saw that she cooked up some individual spare ribs, bone in. I thought, how cool is that? I'm going to try that. So as an inspiration, as Hallsy always was, we're going to do it with this. Now these don't really have any mustard on them. What I did is I had mustard on the board. I just rolled them around in it and I hit them with BBQ, Knox Spice, garlic powder, onion powder, and BBQ again. This one I put Knox Spice, cracked pepper on the bottom, BBQ on the top, and chipotle on top. I didn't worry about the mustard on these because I'm going to cook these Northwest Soul style, which I learned from Rodney O'Neill from Barb's Soul Cuisine. And this is the love style. You stack your meats. Okay, that's simple. The top meat is going to keep the bottom meat moist. This is going to cook really quick, and it's just a bone with a little bit of meat on it. So, once again, a tribute to Hallsy, and fittingly, an inspiration from another YouTube cook. Alright, I covered these little bones that had very little meat on them with that BBQ spice from Knox Spice and grilled them, and these are really cool things to nibble on. Just wanted to point out that's something you can do with your scraps, and it's a tasty little treat while you're barbecuing. Well, I'm not sure what's hissing, but something just started hissing. Oh, it's the hose behind the... Anyways, another tip, your water pan. You always want a water pan that's steaming hot, not boiling. Okay, got that water pan steaming hot, not boiling. Okay, I've got smoke coming out here pretty good. It could come out better. It's not coming out underneath the lid. And that's what I want. If it was pouring out underneath, then there'd be too much smoke and it would be getting my food sooty. Now, how I do this is I leave these vents all the way open, and I use this handle here back and forth until I figure it out. What I did is I opened up the lid, moved the handle till it was all the way closed, and I moved it till it was 1/8 of an inch gap, and I stopped it there because I figured that will give us enough air going across those coals to keep it at a constant temperature. We're hitting about 250, 280 right now. So I just want to share that with you. That's how you calibrate your bottom air chamber to get the right amount of smoke for low and slow and a continuous heat source. Now, if it's a windy day, a cold day, you have other factors to consider. Alright, some more factors to consider. These holes are above the meat. The smoke is being created over there, so it draws this way and goes up. You don't want your holes straight above the meat because there's less smoke that's going to be getting on your meat. Or you don't want your holes straight above your coals because there'll be less smoke getting on your meat. Now over here we have a thermometer, and what this tells us is it's about 225 degrees, and what that really means, it's about 325 degrees where the coals are, because that's closer to the coals. I've calibrated this by having two of these thermometers, one on the grill and one above, and I've just moved it around till I found out what the difference is. So if this thermometer is over here and reading 225 degrees, 325 at grill temperature, drops it down to about 275 over here at grill temperature because of the distance from the coals. Just another way you can calibrate and have an informed idea of what's actually going on cooking. So let's take a look at this meat. Oh, it's weeping. Now, here's something most people don't realize. These bones here that are starting to stick out, when they're double that exposed, it's probably done. And that's all you need to do. Because the meat shrinks back away from the bones. It should be falling apart done by when you see a good inch and a half of bone there. And this is my tribute to Hallsy. Alright, this has actually been cooking for 2 hours. Can you believe that? Water steaming slightly. 2 hours. I'm just going to set it over the coals for a minute. Let that bottom side heat up. Oh yeah, look at that. Now these are some of the single ribs I cut off. I believe it was Caroline Artis from England, London, I believe, someplace near London, was the one who showed me they do this on the other side of the pond there. Now, as you can see, that's kind of not cured. That's because it's been sitting on top of the other food and it's been providing moisture. A little bit of smoke's been getting in there, but not a lot. Now we're going to smoke it up, and I'm going to put the lid on. Okay, my block caught on fire, so I'm going to smother it for 10 seconds or so. That'll put my block out. Then I'm going to open it back up because I don't want a bunch of soot sitting in there. There we go. Alright, so we're having the YouTube Roundup Saturday before Memorial Day 2012, and the barbecue brethren are going to have a throwdown. Send me a private message. Everybody start spreading the word. Olympia, Washington, 2012. Alright, 3 or 4 hours later. Nope, don't want to messed that up. It's got our flavor in it. These are, falling apart done, it looks like. Yes, sir. You see that there, Jimbo Bob? Just set that on the heat for a second. Must mean these are almost falling apart done, too. Okay, some dang good looking ribs. Let me tell you, gonna go plate this up. Once again, the weekend before Memorial Day, Saturday, we are having a YouTube roundup in the honor of Jason Hallsy from Hallsy's Kitchen. We talked about doing this, and we're just going to go ahead and do it. And since I'm doing an international competition barbecue on Sunday, we're going to do a barbecue brethren throwdown for the YouTube barbecuers. Let's get the word out. Let's organize it. If you want to be part of organizing it, let me know. Appreciate everybody. I've been really busy doing charity work, so I haven't had much time to work on cooking videos. Through my charity work, I've met a bunch of musicians, and I wanted to help them out by featuring them on YouTube. They were kind enough to volunteer for my charity gigs. So, I've been really busy. I'll be busy through October 15th, and then there'll be I should be able to get back to doing some cooking. So let me know if you even noticed I was gone, and if you want me to do some cooking, please let me know what you want cooked, because I have no more ideas on what I should cook. I've cooked everything. Let me know. Thanks a lot. Alright, it's been 30 minutes since I took these off the barbecue, and ow, they're still hot. What I did is I put them in this foil, and then I stuck them inside the microwave oven. That's Jimbo Jitsu's secret technique. They're still steaming, nice moisture. And although some competition barbecue associations tell you this is overdone, I beg to differ. I am a certified judge, planning on getting certified in 2 associations, and I like my meat this tender and juicy.
Shucks, that's good.
Dang, that's good.